Guys, deluded, I'm back again. I've always wondered this. Now, obviously, with stardom, or specifically to sportsmen, with being the elite ballers, the Neymars, the Messis, Mesut Ozil, obviously he's not there, but you get what I mean in the sense that if you're these top bracket players, you're expected to be Superman. And I agree with a lot of these things when we talk about a career of a player. When we look at their ability, we say, alright, cool, they've done this, they should win this, they should be doing that, and this, and the third. I know a lot of you get where I'm coming from, and all of that's true, but to a degree, I have to wonder, and I have been wondering it for a while, our fans' pressure is ridiculous. I mean, not to make it about, and this is completely irrelevant, I don't know why I'm mentioning it, but look at every defeat, the abuse people have to take on their social media and things like that. And many a time, we've seen players, put their body on the line, risk it, especially in the lead to World Cups and things like that. Will play when not fully fit and in the run-up to it, and they'll disappoint and people be on their backs. Like, perception... I guess I'm dealing with, you can look at it that way, or you could look at it of what someone's achieved in their whole career, to be fair, like perception and reality. Like, even if we just look at reality and look at Benzema and Balotelli. Benzema's won how much madness at Madrid, how many Champions Leagues he's won. He's going down as a good footballer, innit? Balotelli, I'm sure he's won Champions League at Inter. I could be wrong about that. Either way, he's won Premier League, he's made a lot of money. Ultimately, he's a professional footballer. And they've both played for their countries. Obviously not Benzema anymore. But if they've both won stuff and done all right and things like that, and again, I'm not knocking it because I believe they both could have been better players, respectively, especially Balo. Perception and reality, I believe Balo could have been the best one ever. One of the best strikers ever to have played, to be fair, if he matched his ability. That's my perception. But the reality is, while he might not have hit the heights, he still had a good career. So I'm not necessarily being fair with that. Or even if I look at... Cesc Fabregas was balling from a 16-year-old. You look at the assist 05 against Spurs for Vieira. You look at the assist for Cesc Fabregas for Henry in the 06 final. You look at who set up Iniesta's goal. I mean, Cesc Fabregas has won the Premier League. He's won the FA Cup. He's won the Premier League twice. He's won everything at Barca, excluding the champs. He's had a great career. He's been one of the few wonder kids with Rooney and Messi and other examples that have reached their potential. He's had a good career, considering he left Barca because he didn't think he was good enough. He got to play for his boyhood club. Of course, at Barca it didn't end well. He didn't become the Thiago. He didn't become the heirs to Iniesta and Thiago, specifically Xavi. I'm getting confusing, you guys. Iniesta and what am I doing? Thiago and Cesc, Thiago and Cesc didn't take over from Xavi specifically as people would have expected. So the perception, the reality is, yeah, he could have done a bit more. And when you see him, and not at the World Cup being a pundit, yeah, he could have achieved a bit more, or this and that and the third, yeah. But by the same logic, that's the perception. But the reality is, he's had a fantastic career. So how fair are we being saying stuff like Cesc has fallen off, Cesc hasn't matched his potential? The same could be said to Rooney. He's won everything, but then people will look at his World Cup goals and the lack of them and say he's not levels, or me included. He's 32 years of age or something. I believe he's too early for him to go to DC. You get what I'm saying? He's had a good career. He's gone through his boyhood club at Everton. He's been a young kid at Man United dealing with that pressure, become a main player for United, playing up front and to a degree on the flanks, depending on how you look at it. Got paid a lot, done all these things. The reality is, because one of the leading record scorer for United, I'm sure, and England. These are stuff of dreams for little boys and stuff like that. Come on, bro. When Rooney was 7 years of age, if you offered him that career or 16-year-old, they would have taken that. Like, it's a fantastic career. That's the reality. But the perception, again, did he peak too early? Has he had the career he's supposed to be, and all of this? I do believe we're putting unrealistic expectations at times on players, bruv. Like, Messi with this World Cup stuff, for me, he's the greatest player ever. The reality, the facts and the reality are there, but the perception is that he's not best. He's only good with his Barcelona pals. He's this, he's that, and the third, and he bottles it for his country. And look at the finals against Chile and things. I honestly believe we're being unfair, because I don't believe in life you can't have it all. If you look at anyone that's achieved anything in life, I don't want to say regrets, but there's something they would have loved to have won. I'm sure Messi would love to win the World Cup and would love to have won them Copa America finals. I'm sure R9 would have loved the Champions League. I'm sure Thierry Henry would have loved to have won Ballon d'Or and lift the Champions League at Arsenal. Some things just don't happen. Arsene Wenger, the reality is, He changed the game. Of course, he fizzled out to the end, and we know he should have retired before the game retired him. But in his time, invincible, pioneer, innovative, a hallmark, a pillar of English football, a pillar of football in general, a reference point for any aspiring coach. Pep Guardiola, etc. are listed. So regardless of if you disrespect Wenger or not, this is a fact, innit? But the perception, oh, he's this, he didn't win the champs, he's not a great, he's this and that. And again, I'm not saying none of that. If that's what man believe, that's what man believe. I'm just saying, in life, you can't have it all. So how harsh are we being on people? Because they've still had fantastic careers. Do you get what I'm saying? Steven Gerrard, one of the best to have played Premier League, but he hasn't got a Premier League medal. Despite the fact he's got champs and that, people might look at it and say, how can you be the best ever Premier League midfielder and not have a Premier League medal? Do you get where I'm going? Everybody has regrets. Like, everybody had, these things happen. If Messi finished his chance in 2014, they might have won, or other people, they might have won the World Cup. If Thierry Henry finished in the final against Barca, we would have had that. If Wenger did things differently, we would have had that. If Ronaldo didn't get injured, he would have played in the Champions League final, etc. If Gerrard didn't slip, Liverpool might have won it. These things happen. Look at Paul Pogba. He's gone from being not poor, but not having exactly a lot of stuff, abundance as a youth. He probably had a dream of him and his brothers all becoming footballers. They've done that. He's adored by fans, and he's got the profile and all these things. He's made a lot of money. He's adored. He's a wonderful effing footballer. He's playing for one of the biggest clubs in the world and playing for one of the biggest footballing nations currently in the world. That's the stuff of dreams. He's won stuff at Juventus and stuff. Again, I'm not saying we can't say they shouldn't improve. Pogba wants to improve. Pogba is not the player I believe he can be. Pogba is nowhere near the player I believe he can be. But the reality is, he's had a fantastic career. But the perception is, he's overrated, he's this, he's that, and the third. And I have to wonder, how fair is these things? Because when you look at it as for what it is, these are fantastic careers that most people do not achieve. Like, how fair are we being? Jack Wilshere, again, we know he didn't hit the heights. He could have went down as an England great and things like that, and an Arsenal legend and things like that. We know he could have done that, innit? But that's the perception. But the reality is, again, like Rooney, boyhood dream. Jack Wilshere scored for his country twice. We've all wanted to score for his country. Won goal of the month, won 2 FA Cups, played for his country, gone to competitions for his country, played numerous times for Arsenal and things which he wanted to do when he's coming through the academy despite being a Hammers fan. He hasn't had the career that we want him to be or anywhere near it, like Pogba. Of course, they can be better, but these are not bad things. These are not nothing to be ashamed of. Again, I do think it's harsh in the sense that we always looking further afield. We don't look at what man's done. Of course, I'm not saying rest on your laurels and things like that. I'm not saying that. I'm not even saying we can't critique these things. In fact, I'm saying myself, like, how harsh are we actually on people? Because you can't achieve everything in life. Very few. I'll be surprised. Even these players that have won every damn thing there is to offer, I'll be surprised if every player has won everything they would have loved to, or doesn't have any sort of regret or some sort of thought that ponders on their mind in their post playing or managing career. I've always found that a bit mad, man. Like, I do believe we're very harsh on people, man. We're very harsh on people to a degree. But yeah, man, I hope you've enjoyed that, and I hope I've given you guys some talking points, because that was on my mind for a while and I've been meaning to make a vid. But yeah, man, guys, deluded, comment, subscribe and do the rest. I'm out. Thank you very much for watching as usual. Peace.